Hi, this is Greg. Welcome to the channel. On this channel we talk about markets and investment. And on this video we're going to be talking about one of my favorite stocks, and a stock that I recommended several months ago, and it's none other than Moderna. Now before we get started, if you get value out of this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified for future videos that'll be coming your way very soon. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So if you've been watching this channel, and even if you haven't, Moderna happens to be one of my favorite investments. I recommended it several months ago when it was trading around $124 a share. I will put that original video in the description below and also at the end of the video so you can check it out. I encourage you to check it out because I really do a deep dive on the company, the pipeline, and why I think it is a great company and a great investment. But anyway, I recommended it originally around 124. It since has risen quite rapidly. It truthfully has not been a straight run up. It has had ups and downs, but the bottom line is today it closed at $195 a share. That's a little over 2 months, and that is a 57% increase in a little over 2 months. And if you annualize that, it's a 342% annualized return. By any stretch of the imagination, those are fantastic returns. But as with any investment, even though it's been a relatively short period of time, the question is, where do we go from here? And is it still a good stock to be into? And is it still an attractive investment at these levels? Now, one important thing to mention is, and I put out a previous video on this one too, Moderna absolutely crushed their first quarter earnings. They earned an astounding $1.7 billion in sales, and in terms of the earnings per share, they clocked in $2.84 a share when the expectation on Wall Street was about $2.39 a share. So they significantly beat expectations, and the stock rallied until the government came in and said they basically wanted to give away their intellectual property rights to poor countries, which of course landed like a lead balloon. Europe was against it in order to protect their pharmaceutical companies. Let's rack that up to another extremely stupid idea that the Biden administration has come out with, along with a long string of them. But even though the ascent was not uniform, there's a lot of ups and downs, ultimately, bottom line is it now sits at $195 a share. And I couldn't be more happy. So congrats to any of you that went in, and I know that some of my subscribers went in and around where I recommended it, so congrats. I hope you bought a lot of it. But remember, it is still a development stage company, but in my opinion, it's on its way up. Okay, so in my mind, there's basically 4 reasons why I love this company and I love the stock. The first reason is they are literally cleaning up with respect to their contribution to the COVID vaccines. And this vaccine is one of 3 major vaccines, and of course there are others that have come out since then, but they have been doing incredible sales, and this has enormously boosted both their sales and their earnings. The second reason, as I cited on the first video, is that they have an extremely robust pipeline. Many of these new medications and vaccines are already in phase 2 trials, and when I looked at what they have going on at this company, which of course uses their proprietary messenger RNA technology, I was very excited. And the third reason is part of their pipeline, of course, but the third reason is something that they're working on, which is extremely revolutionary, and that is their personalized cancer vaccine. I explained on the initial video that this personalized cancer vaccine is a vaccine that they have developed. It's in phase 2 trials right now, where they take each individual person's cancer cells, map it out on messenger RNA, and create a vaccine that is injected into the individual and attacks their individual cancer cells and kills the cancer. I mean, that is absolutely unbelievable. And actually, in the first video, which I encourage you to look at, I go into a lot of detail on this, and I had a film clip which really explains exactly how it works. It's absolutely fascinating. And if nothing else, if they achieve nothing else and do the COVID vaccine, which is already out there, and they can commercialize this personalized cancer vaccine, if they do nothing else other than those two things, they are going to make an insane amount of money. And at the very least, they're going to become, in my view, a acquisition candidate by one of the larger pharmaceutical companies. And last but certainly not least, because we're always concerned about the near term, of course, they are projecting that this year alone, they will sell 1 billion vaccines. 1 billion. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. And I think it's setting this company up for a very, very bright and profitable future. So with that, let's do a little work here and determine if the stock is still a buy, given where it is now and given the price action in the intermediate to near term. And we'll sort of look at what it may do in the future, and I'll make some recommendations. Okay? So with no further ado, let's take a look at my trading account and go into it right now. Okay, so here we are in my trading account. And what I'd like to do is I'm just going to take you through a couple of the things that I look at with respect to stocks that I either own or that I'm looking to go into, and we're going to determine if this is at a price where we would still want to go in now, or would we want to wait. Okay, so here's the closing as of today, $195 a share and change. Let's go to the historical chart. I just want to take a look at the chart here. All right, let's go down to 6 months. Okay, so as I've said on past videos, this is a volatile stock, and the reason it's volatile is because it is a development stage company. Okay, most of the vaccines and medications that they have in their pipeline are still in the development stage. The only one that they have commercialized is their current COVID vaccine, which is being used currently in the market. Okay, now when I first recommended this stock, it was right around here at the end of March. Okay, I didn't catch the absolute low, which is very difficult, if not impossible, to do. But when I was talking about this stock in the original video, it was trading around $124 a share. So it was right about in here. As you can see, shortly after the video, there was a very big rally that went up to over $180 a share. Then, of course, the sell-off. And then now currently it's up at 195. But you can see historically it's had extreme run-ups followed by sell-offs, run-up, sell-off, run-up, sell-off. So there's a pattern established here. It's like a seesaw pattern, right? So in looking at this, I'm very happy that I bought it down here. And I bought it actually on this first run-up, I bought it all the way up, right? So my average cost is probably, I'm guessing, around $150, something like that. But if you bought most of your shares when I recommended it, that's where you would have been up, 57% already. But I generally don't recommend doing that. I recommend going in with a smaller purchase and then, if the stock shows the right price action, you build it up gradually over time. Okay, so that's really where we're at now. Okay, so the price is extended. The other thing that looks good, if you go back to the 1 year, you're seeing that the peaks of these peaks, well, this one is slightly lower, but if you look at this one, and now this one, you're seeing a rising price at each one of these peaks, which is a bullish sign. Okay. Now what I'd like to do, let's go back to here. And then I'm going to take you to take a look at some of the technical indicators that I look at. And that we have right here. The top one is the Bollinger Bands, and we've talked about this extensively on this channel. I did a video just on the technical indicators, which I'll put in the description below. You can check that out. But the Bollinger Band, you can see it's at the top of the Bollinger Band range. This is the 50-day moving average here. This is the top, so this would indicate overvalued. We look at the slow stochastics, which is an oscillator index. We are also tremendously overbought. Okay. We look at these remaining three are what I call confirmatory indicators. The RSI is overbought. The momentum is slightly overbought, and the money flow index is overbought. So the stock, by all measures that I look at, is overbought. And I would say that given the seesaw pattern that I referred to in the previous section, there's really no rush to buy it here because inevitably it's going to engage again with a sell-off. So I would not buy it here. If you want to be extremely conservative, you could wait until it reaches the lower end of the Bollinger Band, and this is in oversold, and the other indicators are in oversold. But I think if I had to give you my advice at this point in time, because I do believe in the long term, I'm long-term bullish on this stock is what I mean to say. I'd be very comfortable buying more of it, and I probably will buy more of it in the 160 range, 160, 162. I think, long-term, and given the momentum that this stock currently has, both in the earnings and in the price action, I think you're going to be in good shape on that. Okay? So let's go back to the main screen, and I'll give you some further thoughts on the matter. Okay, so where does that leave us with this company and with the stock? As I said in my original video, when I recommended it at $124 a share, I thought that this was a rare opportunity to get involved with a development stage company at such an attractive price that had so much promise. I continue to be very bullish on this stock, keeping in mind, though, that it still is a relatively risky investment in the sense that, it does trade up and down and up and down. It's very volatile. I think a lot of people are trading it. And what I would recommend that you do is if you go in, around 160 in that range, or if you want to be ultra conservative, you wait until it gets into the lower range of the Bollinger Band. Although the caveat there is you may be waiting a long time and you may miss out on getting involved in such an attractive stock if you continue to wait for it to be cheap, okay? So I guess in summary, I still love this stock. I think it's a rare opportunity. I think the future is very bright. And I keep going back to this. If they achieve nothing else except the current vaccine and the personalized cancer vaccine, this company is going to make a ton of money. All right, so thank you for joining me on this video. I hope you got value out of it. If you got value, please like and subscribe. And remember to hit the bell so you get notified for future videos, which will be coming your way very soon.